Hello, my name is Rihanna,
And my name is Braeden.
and today we'll be visiting the OIE inside the Early Childhood Development Center.
That is the Office of Institutional Equity and Compliance. Let's go.
Jason Caceres. I work here in the Office of Institutional Equity and Compliance as the AVP. There's a couple of areas that we work primarily with. I would say four primary buckets. The big one, our biggest buckets, I should say. So Title IX, so everything that manages issues related to sexual harassment, sexual violence, domestic dating violence, and stalking. Another bucket I would say is with the ADA, the American Disability Act. So we house in our office also the Student Accessibility Services Office, and we work with students who might need accommodations, academic in the classroom, or maybe there might be a mobile accommodation that a student needs, or a temporary accommodation if someone gets injured. The third I would say is everything related to civil rights and discrimination, any kind of harassment, things like that that may not relate to Title IX specifically, specifically connected to identity, so race, religion, gender, sex, etc. And then I would say the fourth major bucket is all the work that the institution does related to JEDI, so your justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion work that we do. I think our hope would be that the students know, one, that the university has the resources necessary to be responsive to things that happen. We know that there are moments where students might find themselves in a tough circumstance, a tough moment. There may be a situation that may have played out that may have made someone feel uncomfortable. And we want to create a space here at the university, specifically in our office, for someone to come in and talk about what those issues might be so that we can provide them with good guidance and really resources specifically. Our priority in our office is, if you were to list what are the top 5 priorities for students to know that we try to manage. Number 1, we're focused on the student, right? The resources piece. Number 2, number 3, and number 4, we're also focused on the students with the resources. The number 5 one I would say is, hey, there's options here. You may want to report, you may want to participate in a formal process, you may want to have an informal process. And we want to create options for students to navigate. But our biggest thing is to get them connected to the resources, because we know when something traumatic happens, that can impact every individual differently, and our number 1 goal is to support, and we want to see you graduate. And so there are moments in life that will present us with challenges and unique circumstances, and in the end, we want to be a support mechanism. We want to see you get across the finish line. If you want to participate in a formal file a complaint or an informal thing, we're here for that too. But our biggest thing is we want to make sure you stay here, and that if you do trip and fall and you have an incident that plays out, there's someone here who can help you get up and keep moving forward. We are pretty quick with either, no matter what the work is, if it's someone who really engages or has to manage a traumatic situation, to I need help in the classroom. I had an IEP in high school. I have a disability. I had an issue that happened with me with a faculty member or a staff member or another student at a party off campus. We're here. For us, we will be responsive. And that could be in a multitude of ways. People can just come and show up, no appointment needed, and we're going to get you, squared away properly. We also accept any kind of phone calls that come in. Sometimes we have students who reach out on social media to, drop in our DMs in a different kind of way, right, and ask for help or resources. And then I would say probably anything, if you're going to talk to someone on campus about these types of issues, my hope is that those folks, as responsible reporters, would refer you to our office ultimately in the end. So responsiveness is our biggest one, and care. The words are there behind you, but ultimately, you're going to be, we see you at a respect level. We want to gather all that information, and ultimately, I think the biggest thing is we're just trying to make sure that we're assisting and helping and supporting our students, faculty and staff, because we also manage those things that come up too in an appropriate way on the campus. No matter what your identity is, we want you to be you. And I think this place, mission-based and who we are as a campus community. This is HBCUs are a very unique environment compared to when I look at PWIs. That's not really a knock on PWIs, what would be predominantly white institutions. I feel like HBCUs provide people with an opportunity to be themselves in a very authentic way. And I think to be a community where there is diversity, inclusion, and equity, people have to feel like this is a space and a place where I can be authentically and unapologetically myself, whatever that might be. And that as community members, we're open to that, whether it be race, whether it be sexual orientation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I can go through the whole gamut without boring people in the video. I think ultimately it's, we want students to be themselves. And that can be messy at times, right? We were all young. We're all trying to figure ourselves out. And ultimately, though, we're creating a space where that can happen. And from first year to year 4 or 5, when someone's graduating with a bachelor's degree, or my hope getting a master's or a doctorate, that they're a different person, that they are better for coming to a place like this. And I think that's the kind of place that we have here. Our community is primarily, we have students primarily of color that are on this campus, and that's the best mix that you can have. I feel like every day we're quite literally helping somebody. And it's a fantastic place to be, for sure.
Hi, this is Alexandra Martin. I'm the Assistant Director for Civil Rights Complaint Resolution and Deputy Title IX Coordinator. So I get to assist with most of the issues that touch on civil rights. It is very important for students to come in and report the matters that they are dealing with as early in the process as possible, because we want to be able to make sure that we connect them with the appropriate resources and that we can also assist them with the appropriate resolution. It matters a lot for students to feel invested in the choice of resolution they select, because that typically has been demonstrated to generate higher rates of satisfaction. And also connecting students as early in the process as possible with resources has been demonstrated to generate better outcomes for them as far as academic results, their ability to manage stressful situations or traumatic situations. And we want to hear from folks, of course, as early in the process as possible, but also when folks are ready to come and trust us with the matter. Sometimes the process may feel a little burdensome. What we do, though, is we try to humanize the process as much as possible. So depending on what the choice of resolution is for the student in question, we work with them to really break down the steps of the process so that it feels manageable. No one likes processes, no one likes procedures. In the sense that they may feel like lengthy or time-consuming or emotionally taxing. So what we want to do is make sure that we present it in a way where they feel that every step of it is manageable, and that we also equip them with the knowledge to go through that process, whether it's an informal process or a formal process. I think when students are, in the know and they can make informed decisions, any process feels perhaps a little more manageable, and then they can get to that outcome they want. We try to tailor the support we provide to students depending on their needs. So, of course, we have a buffet of resources, if you will, but we always start with the very relevant question: what is it that you need in this moment? And based off of what we hear from the students, we'll know whether we need to connect them with the campus resource or a local off-campus resource. We do have community partners that work with us, or we may need to refer them to perhaps a national resource. We have national hotlines that deal with the type of work that we do. So it's really, think of it as a very tailored package depending on a student's very specific needs in the moment. And of course, we always check in to make sure that whatever we put in place still works for them down the line, and that can be adjusted as needed.
Hi, my name is Kiana Smith. I currently serve as a Title IX and Civil Rights Investigator here in the Office of Institutional Equity. People make reports to our office, pretty much collect all the information, and at the end develop a report and follow the process. The way that I support students, I would say, is making sure that when students come in, I treat everyone with respect. I always try to show up with a positive, upbeat personality, just to make students feel welcome, to make sure that everyone feels like they belong here. I think that's really important. Sometimes if students are experiencing issues, I would say with each other, like conflict, sometimes in dating, any type of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, anything like that. Some things that also bring students to our office could look like any unfair treatment, so discrimination. Also, if students need any support services, students can come into our office. If a student or students are experiencing conflict within like an intimate relationship, for example, there are no contact orders that could be put in place. There's also, we connect students with other offices on campus. We do referrals as needed for like counseling services or whatever a student's presenting issue is. We try to make sure that they are connected with whatever office on campus that would be best suited to assist them. We also do off-campus resources as needed.
Hi, my name is Shalita Allen, and I'm the Coordinator for Student Accessibility Services. For students with disabilities, the accommodations, we call them accommodations, that we provide for students are for classroom and academic accommodations, meaning testing, extended time, distraction-reduced environments, and technology of that nature if they need it during testing. We also offer housing accommodations for those with medical needs that need certain type of housing for them to be on campus, and we also offer emotional support animals for students that need them at times. Students requesting accommodations, normally most of the time students come into our office, they speak with our admin or one of the partners in the Student Accessibility Services. We send them a link, they click the link, they fill out all the information, and then we contact the student in a reasonable time. We meet with them, talk to them, discuss them, look over their documentation, and give them the accommodations according to their documentation. We work closely around campus with the counseling department for students who need to be referred to the counseling center. We work with housing. We also work closely with instructors, for the student in case instructors have trouble or students have a difficulty expressing themselves or explaining their accommodations to their instructors. We also work with housing for students that come in with dietary needs as well.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Rivera. I'm the Associate Director for Prevention, Education, and Training in the Office of Equity and Compliance. So right now I'm in the classroom with the first year experience classes talking to the students about their mandatory Title IX training, as well as consent education, really giving them a basic overview of the OIE. In addition, we do specific training sessions for the athletics teams to get all the athletes up to par as a part of their NCAA requirement for training on Title IX as well. We also do safe zone training on campus, so really LGBTQ plus ally training that's available to students and employees, and then students are assigned training via our Vector Solutions online platform. There is a mechanism on our website, so umes.edu/OIE, to request training, or they could specifically send an email request to equity@umes.edu to request training on whatever topic they want. And we're happy to put something together for them. For us, the focus really in the fall is sexual violence prevention. So letting students know the resources available to them, reporting options, making sure our employees know their reporting obligations, letting folks know that an office like ours exists. In K through 12, things look a little bit differently to report Title IX or sexual misconduct. So letting them know there's a standalone office that is a resource for them and where we are kind of off the beaten path here on campus.
All right, guys, that concludes the tour of the OIE, where we learned about Title IX, civil rights and equal opportunities, and the ADA accessibility services. See you next time.